The home is probably the hardest place for any of us to live out our Christian faith on a consistent basis, but it is also the most important. And the older we get, the more we understand the importance of family. The family or home is a basic unit of society. It is foundational to everything else. If we can transform the home, we will transform the rest of the society. But you cannot transform the home without Christ. So today we will focus on building Christ centered relationships at home and at work. And the general principle here is a principle of authority and submission that we find in Romans 13:1 and 2. Everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. Consequently, he who rebels against their authority is rebelling against what God has instituted, and those who do so will bring judgment upon themselves. God is a God of order, and so he has built order in our lives and relationships. The government has order, the military has order, even the angels have order. How much more the family and the workplace? Christianity is not just personal, it is also relational. Christ is central in all things, and so as believers, Christ should be at the center of our relationships. As a Christian, all of our relationships with other people should be influenced and mediated by our primary relationship with Christ. And also, and although this truth applies to our relationships, it especially applies to our relationships at home and at work. First, let's look at Christ-centered marriage relationship, and here we learn first of all that the wife is to submit to her husband. Verse 18 of Colossians 3, wives, submit to your husband as fitting in the Lord. Now, this command to submit is different from the command to obey, which is given to children and slaves. And this is because the husband wife relationship, thankfully, is different than the relationship between parent and child or master and slave. The husband in a Christ centered marriage does not boss his wife around or give her commands, rather, he lovingly leads the family in the home. So, what does it mean to submit? To submit means to willingly put yourself under authority. Submission does not mean that one person is less important or less valuable than the other. 1 Corinthians 11:3 reads, "The head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is a man, and the head of Christ is God." Christ submits to God the Father, and yet we know that Christ is still equal with God in every way. So men and women are equally important in Christ, and yet there's still a distinction of role within the home. But the real striking thing about this command in Colossians 3:18 is a final phrase, as fitting in the Lord, because once again this puts Christ in the center of it all. We do not submit because our husbands are better, smarter, or more valuable than you, or valuable to any woman. We do so because this is what is fitting or appropriate in Christ. God designed the home, and it's fitting in the Lord that wives submit to their loving husbands. Be blessed.